Hello, me again. Right, I'm going to show you this thing I've been working on. It's not finished, but I just want to show you kind of what I've done here. Session's a complete mess. I'm not worried about that for now. I'm going to show you the video, where I'm at with it, and then I'm going to go over some of the stuff. Right, so that's where I'm at with it. So I started this whole design, and then I realized I don't have the assets for this at all. So it's been a bit of a struggle. These are like Porsche sounds, which is good. But I've had to like add stuff to them. So we've got this bit here, for example. So what was tricky here is it's mono. So I had to use this stereo lab thing. This is Boom Library. And then some reverb, just so it sounded cool. So we bypassed these, and what you get is this. Which doesn't sound too bad, but the stereo thing definitely makes a big difference, I think. And then we've got this sweetener layer here, which is just an electric car. And then we've got all this. So yeah, basically what we've got here is these tracks are the vehicle stuff, or the stuff that's mono that needs to be a bit wider. It's not going to be 100% stereo. And then a lot of this other stuff is just the sweeteners. Then this is the sidechain. So this is really cool. So I'll show you this thing here. So this is the ambient, right? So I'll just show you this for now. So that effect there, that weird thing that you heard at the end, is actually track spacer. Set like so, on mid side. We could do left right. Let's try left right. But basically what this is doing is just taking the sidechain from this thing here and applying that to the mid-side signal here. So it just makes, like a bit of space, track spacer, which makes the mix sound a little bit nicer. Another car sweetener we've got is this. So a big thing for this whole clip was basically, it can be loads of cool punchy stuff and bassy stuff, but you do need to have high-end elements or it's going to sound quite fatiguing and yeah, a bit too much. So I've got all this stuff here. Which I'm not 100% sure about this thing still. Then we've got some spaceship stuff. Then that thing. So for the cool stylized stuff, I wanted to just do the stuttery thing. So I just basically processed this Porsche. All of the processing was done in SoundMiner. So you'll see like there's not really that many effects going on in the session. Apart from this reverb, which I'm testing out. But still not sure that. So yeah, a lot of these little like high-end things, which I don't think they all fit. I think once it comes to like, properly mixing this, I'll probably get rid of loads of it. But yeah, that's basically the approach for that. So then we've got the sub stuff here. And this has just got driver on it. And the top one doesn't. And this is going to the sub. So no driver, driver, and sub. So you get this. So I think, to be honest with you, I think it's too much. I think there's too much of the same kind of sound. But I'm not sure how to really mix it up. But if you've got any ideas, let me know. Then we've got this stuff. So I'll go over the little glitchy cut things, because they're kind of cool. So the first one is this. No, it's not. So it's this thing here. So it's basically just really sharp cuts, and then we might not even need this. We need to be very, very picky about what sounds we keep and what sounds we get rid of, because this has got an impact, and so does this. So I'm wondering, do we actually need them both? Let's try. So, any other impacts? We've got this. That's animals. I'll get to the animal sounds because they're kind of cool. So I'm going to bypass this. Then this is with that layer. So we need to decide basically, is that adding enough to keep it, or is it just basically causing more problems? So one thing I like to do is solo both of these and have a listen. And I cannot decide. I think that probably means get rid of it. However, I've been listening to this for hours, and I don't really trust my hearing on it anymore. So there's some stuff here that I'm not too happy with. I'll leave that for now. When I come to mix it, I'll have a look at it. So I'm going to slow this down. And let's listen to all the layers. So something just didn't quite feel right to me there. Is it this? So now what I'd like to do is go through and pick, listen to each individual sound and make sure it syncs up to something, or it kind of leads into something else. So for this, it's kind of too slow for this one, but too fast for this one. So do we need it? So what I'm looking at now is this little grey thing here, which is the next sound. So I wonder if we could lead it into this, so like so. And we can't because it sounds like shit. So what do we do? I just feel like there's a big empty space here. So could we copy a car engine sound over? So that cuts to here. It feels like it goes on forever, but it's only a second. And then I'm gonna just go like so. I guess that kind of works for now. I don't like this. It sounds like a bag of like crisps being crunched up. And that's not what we want. We want something better than that. But I would like something to contrast this and the engine sounds. So I'm thinking like a granular thing. Let's see what we've got. That'll just get lost in the mix completely. Too quiet. That's cool, but it's quite bassy. So what I'm thinking is it's gonna get lost to some of the other stuff. So what did I use for this? JD granular silo smooth. So let's try this. But yeah, just some sort of like interesting tone to it basically. So now I can try bypassing this. And then the stuttery thing comes in here, so maybe I want to do like that. What the fuck? Maybe this is the right thing to do. Works for me. So the timings just feel so weird on this, so I'm gonna go frame by frame. So we can see like the transient's kind of here, but the sync point's here. So do we want to do this? Bump the volume up. Now to me that sounds just like a whoosh and not a very exciting one. So I wonder if there's another thing in here that we could use. Now we need to be careful because this is going to sidechain all the other stuff, so we want it to be short. So it didn't work, it's too tonal. Maybe one of these. Maybe we could put it on the sub thing here. And then... that kind of works, but the problem is it sounds similar to... it's all going to sound the same because it's going through driver, which, like in the last video I sent you, this was the settings I was talking about. This is just basically what I use. The reason the smooth and the release things are so low is because this stuff's so punchy. I want it to just like hit, then immediately go down in volume. I don't want this like big tail thing going on, because that's going to just be horrible to mix. Like if this was all, well, say this was like this length and this is all bass here, all this stuff's going to lose the impact, so we don't want to do that. It can be quite long because it's got this, well, could be shorter actually. So now the question is, do we want this in mono or stereo? So let's... so that thing I was just talking about where the tail of the bass layer goes on for too long, that's kind of happening here because this is too loud, so it's bumping up the frequency here. Oops. So we might want to do this. So one thing I'd like to do is add a high pitch layer to this. Maybe we could have this go the other way, like so. For this whole thing, I didn't process it, it just kind of worked. So that's good. Then we've got this. Very distorted. It kind of sounds rough, but in the mix it's fine. I'll show you some of this car crash stuff here. This is the bit that I'm kind of still working on, so it doesn't sound that good at the moment. I'm struggling to get it syncing up when it does this rolling about thing at the end. So here's what it sounds like. And then we need to make that transition nicely into this bit here. I don't think this syncs up to anything. That's actually not even the same kind of car, which really annoys me. But what can you do? So I'm just going to solo this sublayer just so we can hear what kind of isn't working. So that bit's fine. Yeah, there's just something going on here. So it's like maybe this needs to come back a little bit. So this doesn't sync up to anything. So yeah, it all just kind of feels out of place. Let's mute this. That's what we've got there. Which is... I wonder if we should maybe solo the... There's just not much definition. And then we've got this. I think this could work, this lion thing, but not currently with the state of the impact. So it's like this needs to come over to here. And then this. Something like that. I'll work that out later because all the rest of it needs to sync up as well. So then the sweetener layers, we've got this, which I've pitched down a little bit too much. We've got the transient here, we don't want that, so we might want to do like this. Something like that. Something like that. Once the rest of it is all set up correctly, this should just work. You'll see. And then we've got this. Or the passband. Now what could be interesting is if we sent this to... Oops. Sent this to the sub. I think this will sound too much, but I'll bring it down a touch. Oh, it's the sub, but it's also the sidechain. Yeah, didn't work. What can you do? I don't think that'll ever work. And then we've got this. But maybe they need to cut off sooner to make space for the next impact. So it's like a build up, then it's like an impact. I don't think you'll hear this. This is like a dog or something. Yeah, okay. Good. What would be cool is like when it's in the air. If it went a bit quiet, actually, I think it goes too loud. What if we reversed this and made it all cinematic-y? Dreadful. So this is all just using this is actually just a demo. I tried it out last night. I'm trying to find like a good cinematic kind of reverb to keep in the up here on the aux. Currently I'm using Pro R or maybe Black Hole. But this one's always too much. I don't know if this is like a cinematic thing. I think that's maybe more of like a creative sort of thing. So yeah, I think that's all the interesting stuff. As you can see, it is such a mess. I know when I talk to you, I say like, you know, keep the session clean, and then I go and do this, which isn't ideal. But sometimes when I start these designs, which I start them quite often, and then they just sound shit, and I just give up on them. I thought that was going to happen here, but it did start to come together pretty quick. So yeah, just gonna put it all in one group, just to quickly test out ideas. So I wanted to test out this thing, sidechaining the group. On the group, you can see elevate, track spacer. On the mix, elevate plus 10, which I'm actually not sure about. I might bring it down a little bit. But really there's no effects. If one of these has got a color, that's because I put an effect on it. So like this thing here's got the reverb. This thing down here, which is like a car sound, that's just got high pass on it. So there's nothing like crazy going on. But yeah, right. I hope this was useful. If you got any questions, just let me know. Nice one. Cheers. Bye.